And welcome to Millennium TV 24. You're watching the Good Look in News, and I am Kim Seabrook. And you know what I like to do? I always like to know what's going on right here in our city, New York City. So let's start off with that. Also Jersey too, because Ida, the death toll soared to actually 51. Officials are searching for two missing New Jersey college students, and at least 51 people have been confirmed dead after Hurricane Ida tore through the Northeast last week, as authorities in New Jersey on Monday resumed the search for two college students whose cars were swept away in the flash floods. And New York has 17 confirmed deaths, 4 in Westchester County and the rest in New York City, where nearby all the victims became trapped in the basement apartments. They were either in Queens or in Brooklyn. And in New Jersey, there were also 27 that confirmed storm deaths and 4 people still missing, according to Governor Phil Murphy's office. Among the missing are the two college students, Naidi Rana, 18, and Ayusha Rana, 21, who were last seen in Passaic on Wednesday when their car was floating towards a section where the water flows underground towards the Passaic River. A dozen search boats and a state police air unit were carrying out the latest search for the two friends on Sunday, and other storm deaths were reported in Connecticut, where State Police Sergeant Brian Moe was swept away in his vehicle, Pennsylvania with at least 5 dead, and Maryland with at least 1 dead. President Joe Biden, of course, is scheduled to visit Manville, New Jersey and Queens on Tuesday to survey the storm damage. Governor Kathy Hochul said the historic rainfall caused more than $50 million in damage after walls of water cascaded through businesses, public transport, and 1,200 homes in her state. And next in news, we're going to move on to a new story. So what we have next? Is an 18-year-old. 18-year-old is arrested in connection to the shooting of teen basketball player in 2019. A teenager has been arrested in connection to the 2019 shooting and heartbreaking death of a 14-year-old basketball standout in Queens. They have reported that the long-sought suspect, Sean Brown, 18, was finally arrested. He is charged with a second-degree murder in the killing of a 14-year-old Amir Griffin. Amir Griffin Brown had little to say as he was transferred to New York from California on Saturday. He ignored the media's queries on his apparent extradition. But meanwhile, Brown is also a person of interest in 2 other shootings in Jamaica dating to October 11, 2019 and July 6, 2020. Law enforcement did give us that information, and the news of the arrest garnered reactions from the neighborhood in Queens. His parents can be at peace, with themselves, because it's a sad story, and he had his whole life ahead of him. A woman from Queens has said also a teenager has been arrested in the connection to the 2019 shooting and heartbreaking death of a 14-year-old basketball standout in Queens. And again, that information was given out us, and the long-sought suspect, Sean Brown, 18, was finally arrested. He is charged with a second-degree murder in the killing of a 14-year-old Amir Griffin. Brown had little to say as he was transferred to New York from California on Saturday. So if you didn't hear it one time, I'm telling you again, because the story is just repeating itself, so I just want to make sure you get this information. He also ignored the media's queries on his apparent extradition. And meanwhile, also Brown is a person of interest in 2 other shootings in Jamaica dating to October 11, 2019, July 6, 2020. Law enforcement told us that information, and the arrest garnered reactions from the neighborhood in Queens. They are happy that now his parents can be at peace, with themselves, because it's a sad story. He had his whole life ahead of him. And in July 2021, the community gathered to open the renovated court where Griffin was killed to honor his memory and to give kids a safe space to play basketball. Despite the attempts to restore peace of mind in the community, people say that Griffin's death has left a sense of fear in Queens. However, they do hope that the Browns' arrest will inspire and give courage to children to get back outside and be normal kids again. Brown, who is also from Queens, is now waiting for his arraignment schedule in court. and that will be held tomorrow. The suspect evaded law enforcement for nearly 2 years after killing of the upcoming basketball player, whose funeral drew more than 1,000 mourners to the Greater Allen Cathedral. The untimely death of the victim also generated a citywide outpouring of grief, with the hometown New York Knicks posing for a photo with the team jersey featuring Griffin's High School number 2. And next in our story, we're going to move on. We have the New York City cab driver clings to life after being shot in the head by a straight bullet. Unfortunately, this is some, terrible news that we have to report, but this is what has been going on this past few days. A 15-year-old boy during Harlem gunfight. A New York City cab driver was hit in the head by a straight bullet fired by a 15-year-old boy during a Harlem gunfight early Sunday morning, with at least 9 others wounded in separate citywide shootings overnight. Police say that the teen attempted to shoot a rival after being shot in the stomach himself around 9:45 p.m. Saturday at 131st Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard. The teen returned fire, missing his rival and accidentally striking a 34-year-old taxi driver as the man was in his vehicle. Authorities say that the cab driver was rushed to Mount Sinai Morningside in critical condition, and the driver had a passenger in the backseat who was not injured during the shootout. The 15-year-old who struck the cabbie was taken to New York Presbyterian Hospital, Columbia. He is in stable condition. Charges against the teen are currently pending, police said. Meanwhile, at least 7 other people sustained gunshot wounds in separate shootings in the Bronx from Saturday night and into early Sunday morning. Police say 4 people were shot and wounded in the Bronx as a group of people left LaRue's Catering Hall on White Plains Road around 3:35 a.m. The group got into an argument with an unknown person who opened fire on them, with a 24-year-old man, a 27-year-old woman, a 36-year-old man, and a 47-year-old man, all shot in their legs. Local resident James Davis, 44, said that he has seen the group of well-dressed men and women outside the catering hall around 2 hours before the shooting. Elsewhere in the Bronx, a 30-year-old man and a 17-year-old boy were shot in the buttocks and lower back respectively at 1877 Bathgate in the Katona neighborhood at 2:48 a.m. EMS transported the teen to nearby St. Barnabas Hospital, while the other man managed to take himself to Lincoln Hospital. And then at around 3:30 a.m., police responded to a shooting opposite a gas station located at 2280 Tillotson Avenue in the Eastchester neighborhood of the Bronx. And cops discovered a 28-year-old man unconscious and unresponsive with a gunshot wound, while a second man, 35, also sustained a gunshot wound, but was conscious and alert. Both men were rushed to nearby Jacoby Hospital, where the 28-year-old was pronounced dead. The 35-year-old was listed in stable condition, and that's according to the Daily News. But the last shooting was reported around 4:15 a.m. Sunday morning in the Kingsbridge Heights neighborhood, where police say a 22-year-old woman was shot by a driver she mistook for her taxi. The man in the black car attempted to grab the woman's bag, and when she resisted, the driver drew a gun and opened fire her, hitting her in the left shoulder in front of 197th and Reservoir Avenue. No arrests have been made in any of the overnight shootings as of Sunday night. And while the shootings made for an especially violent early morning, NYPD's CompStat records show that there has actually been a 38.3% drop. This is unbelievable, in shooting victims from August 23rd through August 29th when compared to the same time period last year, and nearly a 35% drop in shooting incidents citywide. For the Bronx, the borough has seen a decrease of 53% in shooting victims and nearly 47% decrease in shooting incidents when compared to that same time as last year. And again, that's according to the NYPD statistics for the year through August 31st, show a very slight decrease in total shooting victims, with 1,208 victims so far this year. And that is, again, the report. But despite the drop in the shootings, the Bronx residents remain unsurprised over the overnight spate of shootings on Sunday. Unfortunately, yes. And we're going to move on to our next story. FDNY, NYPD, they rescue a man trapped in a 25-foot hole, deep hole in Queens woods. So let's go on to the story. A man ended up at the bottom of a 25-foot hole in the middle of Queens woods and may have been stuck there for more than 8 hours before being rescued Sunday. And you can see the images there. I mean, this hole is massive. Officials say that they got a call around 8 a.m. that a 47-year-old man was trapped with injuries in a hole somewhere near exit 36 of the Cross Island Parkway. The man, who may have been out bike riding before ended up down the hall, was trapped for at least 2 hours and possibly since midnight before his rescuers arrived. And his brother took a long time to find him because he was in the middle of the woods, said the FDNY Chief of Rescue Battalion, Patrick Ginty. The victim fell about halfway down and injured his ankle and his head, Ginty said, adding that the hole looks like an old water tunnel. When members of the FDNY and the NYPD's emergency service unit arrived at the scene, they went down to check the man's condition, and the FDNY then used a chainsaw to cut away overgrowth and a bucket truck to lower down the rope. They hooked the rope around the man and pulled him to safety, officials said. We had him out within 20 minutes of getting there, and Ginty said, calling the rescue operation rare. The man suffered minor injuries to his head and ankle, authorities have said. But Ginty credited the FDNY Squad 61, Squad 288, Rescue 3, and Rescue 4, as well as the NYPD's cops for the save. It wasn't clear how the man ended up in that tunnel to begin with, and his name wasn't released. He may have been out on a bicycle ride, is what they said. So we're going to move on to our next story, and the next story is the federal pandemic unemployment assistance comes to an end. Today is the last day. The financial aid from the U.S. government that aided millions of households across the country affected by the pandemic is coming to an end. Federal employment benefits offered by the CARES Act since March of last year are coming to an end after 18 months. The change will affect millions of people across the country at a time where the COVID-19 Delta variant infections rate have started to surge. The benefits expiring including pandemic unemployment assistance, pandemic emergency unemployment compensation, extended benefits, the $300 pandemic unemployment compensation, and the $100 mixed earner unemployment compensation. Unemployment insurance is still available for those who are eligible to qualify. After Sunday, residents must be unemployed and within their first 26 weeks of benefits. Pandemic unemployment assistance claims can be filled within the next 36 days, and those claims will be reviewed by the New York State Department of Labor, and those who are eligible can receive backdated benefits. And according to an estimate from the Century Foundation, about 9 million people throughout the country will lose their benefits, and another 3 million people will see a reduction in their weekly benefits. This is Kim Seabrook. We're going to go into a commercial break, and when we be back, we have a special guest for you. Thank you so much.
What does a Regis divorce, a Regis bankruptcy, and a Regis personal injury claim have in common? Regis lawyers. Lawyers who care, convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. For over 20 years, we have helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. We work 100% for the 99%. For a free consultation with an experienced attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. And yes, we speak Spanish.
And welcome back to Millennium TV 24. I am Kim Seabrook. You're watching the Good Looking News. And today I have a special guest for you. Her name is Venetria. Venetria Moon Ra of Hula Rööts. Hello, Venetria. How are you? Welcome.
Great day. Hi, I'm so freaking excited that it's sunny today.
Yes, we had a lot of rain, but rain is good for growth, and sun is definitely needed for that good energy. Yes, indeed.
You know me.
Yes, I do. So what's going on? So you are the owner and a master hoop yogini. If you don't mind, give us some background of what Hula Rööts is.
Okay, I would love to. Great. All right. Well, Hula Rööts is a program-based company that assists people in guiding them to a healthier lifestyle. So I have a whole lot of programs. My very first program, I am a master hoop yogini facilitator, and hoop yogini combines the hula hoop with mindfulness meditation and hatha yoga.
Yes.
So that right there, from toddlers to seniors, it's for everybody. Both sexes. Don't think that, let me tell you about, when I introduced men to the Hoop Yogini program, the Spinal Awakening series, a lot of guys are like, oh, I don't shake my hips, but it's not for your hips. I mean, you need your hips,
right?
But it's also for your back,
right?
And we need a strong back so that by the time you get to that age, you don't want to be bending over like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, okay?
Absolutely.
So, I think it's kind of sexy that, men do get into it. And definitely for women, I'm over 50, uber 50, and no one can tell that. And
no, they
I
can't.
like it because it keeps me in shape.
Absolutely.
Keeps me in shape.
Absolutely.
Flawlessly, no work. Just hula hoop for a minute. Okay, I did my workout. It's a full body workout. It definitely is a full body workout with many benefits.
It is. What is one of the best benefits of hula hooping?
Well, okay, there's plenty, but for me, my number one was back pain. Back pain, lower back pain, sciatica. There's a position called around the world.
Yes, and I know it.
Any day, I will be out on, let's say, 161st Street 4 train station.
Yes.
And I will be like, without a hoop, you can do it without a hoop too. We're just going around, all the way down, all the way down. Oh, man. I can do that right now. I just came from the grandkids.
So yes.
You already know. So yeah, and other benefits like massaging your organs, creating fluid in your spine when you're twisting. Just a lot. It's just, and it's totally fun. Totally fun. It will not. Hoop Yogini will let you know you're not doing a workout. You're just having a really good time and paying attention to your body.
To your body, yes. And it's so important that you said sciatica, because if you notice, everybody who claims that they have back pain, the first thing that they diagnose them with is sciatica. You know what I mean? So, which it could be a numerous other things, but we already know how that goes down, right?
Let me just give you that pill. Here we go.
Exactly. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about
15 things that it may be.
Let's talk about your lifestyle, because you live an alkaline lifestyle. What is alkaline for these people who don't know?
Well, if you ever heard of Dr. Sebi, which really helped me notice what the alkaline lifestyle is, it's not just eating a plant. It's like eating a plant-based diet. But the way I teach it, the way I'm going to teach it, is the Dr. Sebi. I'm inspired by Dr. Sebi. And because when I started getting into this alkaline lifestyle, I got rid of my asthma. I got rid of my hay fever. Now, let me tell you now, if you start to eat crappy, it'll come back. So don't think I just got rid of it. I got rid of it because I eat the way I do.
Right.
And, with certain activities, I know that, okay, say I have I don't even want to say the word because I didn't claim it. Chronic inflammation in my knee, right?
Right.
And I know how to get rid of it. But sometimes when I do a little transitional cheating, I feel it. I feel it. So it is definitely the food. It's the food. And so when you're eating this plant-based diet, you're going to clear your mind. It's going to automatically clear your mind. This is what I went through. Started being more alert, being more conscious, listening to people, and can tell when they're lying in my face. I can tell you're lying on the radio.
Yes.
You know, like
because you start getting more attuned, and those things that were blocking your mental and your thoughts and those things that is just like
and you see
fogged up, it starts clearing up. Yes.
Yep. So with that said, I started clearing, getting my mind clear, and I was liking what I was doing. I was sharing that information with some family and friends. It actually worked for them too. And so now I'm certified in Hoop Yogini. I'm getting my certification for alkaline nutrition, even though I know everything. I just need to pay just be all.
Exactly. Right.
Right. And then, and with that said, I'm going to teach my community and beyond.
Absolutely.
If you want this, let's have fun. I'm just going to approach it in such a fun way that you're not going to know that you're on some diet, because your whole mind and people you may get rid of and your life is going to be boom. For most of you.
Yes.
I can't guarantee that for everybody, but
I know. But right. I think with your personality and your knowledge, you'll be definitely able to reach the masses. So I'm not worried about that. Indeed.
I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Well, it's going to happen soon for you. I mean, you're already doing what you need to do. So because you was doing a lot of teaching and classes before the pandemic, and then of course, and I hate to even bring this up, but the reality is that it has stopped so many things, but it also has brought growth for so many people, especially us Black females, and how we changed and turned businesses around. And what has it done for you? What has this transition done for you?
Okay, so here we go, because there's a little story in there.
Let's go. Talk about it.
Source knows, it's just Source. I'm this journey is like I meditate and ask to be guided, and that's what I'm doing. So before the pandemic, okay, do I have to say pandemic?
No, pandemic. Say it. We talk about it all the time. We keep listening. You're on a Good Looking News. You know me, so we know.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure.
Yes.
But right before, about 3 months, maybe 4 months before the pandemic, saying it was official, I was already writing a textbook about an alkaline diet. Because my idea was, how am I going to get this out to more people in the community? What I'm going to do, I don't want to just be online all the time. Whatever it was, I just want to write a book and people could buy it, and that could be it. But then I was alerted that another person was teaching, hey, do you want to put your class online, like, Kajabi or something, or, and I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. I know a lot of people that have courses online, blah, blah, blah. So now I have my first course out, Activate Your Electric Body, which is a precursor to the, it's a gift. One, that's a gift. Two, Activate Your Electric Body, a little bit of a precursor to the new program coming out next. Hopefully, it's going to be coming out in the fall. Just don't know the exact date yet. But we're going to be giving the people, the community, 28-day alkaline diet. And with that said, that's a 28-day you're going to hang out with me.
Okay.
No, it's all online. Everything is online. And the basics, because there's another one that's coming out afterwards. That'll be a 90-day. So you spend 28 days with me.
Okay.
And what it is an introduction. You're going to be straight out alkaline. Don't even do nothing. You're going to be alkaline for 28 days, period. And my guarantee is you'll never go back. Now, when I say you'll never go back, you may not be totally, I'm gung-ho for it all, but maybe you like certain parts of it.
Right.
You might say, I'm not going back to coffee. I love these teas. I've been feeling really great. This tea is really helping whatever situation I got going on here. Right. And I'm much better. I might stick with the teas. Or I'm not going to eat any more potatoes because I like using squash as potatoes. Yes. Or butternut squash. I think I like that too. Whatever it is that it is, you might go fully into it. You may go partially into it. You may become a vegan alkaline person, right? But you'll never go back. You never go back. I promise you. It will be on your mind. It will haunt you. And it does me because I know it's like, no, you're not supposed to eat this Venetria, and I know whatever it is, I feel it, but I do know how to detox it out of my body quickly. Exactly.
And that's the difference between people who are constantly doing it and doing it and doing it. And for those who know how to train their body and say, okay, I can do this, but I also know what to do to eliminate it and remove it. Yes. That's a big difference. Yes. So, and I'm assuming, and I'm knowing actually that that's what we're going to learn in your courses, correct?
Yeah, we're going to learn. My biggest thing is teas. I'm going to be definitely introducing teas, which I have a book in the course called Herbs, Leaves, Twigs, and Roots. It is an introduction. You'll go pick out, you'll know a whole lot of different herbs, what they're good for, pick out what diseases you may want to alleviate and start drinking that. And that is like a precursor to the 28-day alkaline diet, because even with if you don't do the precursor and you just come into the 28 diet plan, we're still going to be doing a detox. We're still going to be doing a detox. So with that said, like in the first week, you'll be getting ready, you'll be detoxing, different teas and whatnot, and different introductions of how we're going to go fully into a 21-day diet, like alkaline. So you start a whole weekend and then 21 days just alkaline food.
Sounds good to me.
From Dr. Sadie's list. Now that's something. When I read what the other alkaline, I was like, what? I never eat that. What?
Cheese. Oh no! Oh, that's a whole nother segment. That's a whole nother segment. We can't get into that one. We can't get into that one.
Yeah.
Well, what I do want to know,
how could y'all even put cheese on there? Because there's some mucus.
Venetria
creator, right?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy that they would even dare say that is part of an alkaline diet. Yeah, but we would definitely have to bring that back up again in another segment. So what, any in-person classes coming up? What do we have? You doing anything at Times Square again? What we got?
I am creating, because with the addition of the alkaline lifestyle and my hoop yogini, there are some events that are starting to let people back out. I'm really going to start some things online. I'm definitely going to be starting some things online, but as far as something every day for me, it would be online. It's still going to be online. And I'm probably going to throw something out before right before the fall comes, or right as the summer is ending.
Got it.
Someplace on some beach, whatever.
Well, when you do, just make sure you give me the information so I can let our viewers know when you got this event coming out, because you guys have to see Venetria Moonra in action doing her hula hoop. We even did it on a D train for her birthday one time, okay? We did that. Venetria, one more thing before we go, because time is running out. Where can we get a good hula hoop?
Funny you should ask that question, sister. I do make them. They are on my site. Actually, I think I gotta put it on my site.
Okay. Well, let them know where we can find. Let them know where we can find you. And when you get off, you put these on your site right now. Let's go.
Okay. www.myhularoots, www.myhularoots.com.
Real
Again,
simple.
Yep. www.myhularoots.com.
That's Hula, Hula Roots, ROOTS.com. Myhularoots.com. Awesome.
Thank
Any
you.
other way we can find you, Venetria?
Sure can. I love being on Instagram. You can see, and if you don't know me yet, you can definitely get to know me through my Instagram, where you can Instagram at Hula_Roots_Yogini. And in there, in my bio, I have a free gift, right? I have a free gift video of 6 top things you could do to activate your electric body. And I give this out because a lot of people feel that wellness costs a lot of money, but actually nature has a hidden spa hidden right in front of your eyes, wide open.
Right. Absolutely.
Wide open. So I'm alerting people to that, where you can have some fun and really give your body good nutrition, good minerals, just by what's around you. So you can find that in the bio in my Instagram. And I also have a tea show, Tea for Two.
Okay.
The Tea Experience Live.
Yes.
On the Facebook page.
Yes. So how can we find that Facebook page?
Okay, that particular Facebook, I don't ask anybody. You have to come. I don't send out invitations because I want you to be here. It is called This Holistic Life. Facebook at This Holistic Life.
You got it.
And that's where the lessons are going to go. So like we have the tea show going on now. We've had Spotty being on air throughout this summer because I had a lot of family things going on, which were totally unexpected. And I didn't know what this pandemic was going to hold as far as, getting out there. So
understood. You don't have to explain that. You make sure to follow Hula Roots on Instagram, on Facebook. Make sure to follow this page, the holistic page. What is the holistic page again?
This Holistic Life.
This Holistic Life. So you can get into these rooms and get into these classes, see what she's doing. Yes. You got free information, free information on how to better yourself. Now, everything won't be free, but at least they are some.
Right. Yep, that part is free.
Yes.
So and with that, with the class, when the 28-day alkaline diet goes up, all of the lessons and the talks and everything will be on that page. So it's going to be a continuing kind of thing. I'm not going to let people just sit there and be that.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna guide you. I'm gonna take this journey with you.
Awesome.
Take this journey with me.
Well, thank you so much, Venetria Moon Ra of Hula Roots, for tuning in on a Good Looking News.
Good luck.
You are very, very welcome. It's always an honor to share space with you. You know how we do. We connect. Absolutely. But just stay right there until we go into this break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Good Looking News on Millennium TV 24.
What does a Rööts divorce, a Rööts bankruptcy, and a Rööts personal injury claim have in common? Rööts lawyers. Lawyers who care, convenient, affordable, respectful, and experienced. For over 20 years, we have helped thousands throughout the Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. We work 100% for the 99%. For a free consultation with an experienced attorney, call or text us at 212-766-1100. And yes, we speak Spanish.
Welcome back to Millennium TV 24. You're watching the Good Looking News with me, Kim Seabrook. So we're going to move on. Let's see what's going on in Florida. Wow. Very interesting story. Florida gunmen had killed 4, including mom who was still holding her baby. A man wearing full body armor fatally shot 4 people, including a mother and the 3-month-old baby that she was cradling, and engaged in a massive gunfight with police and deputies before he was wounded and surrendered in Lakeland, Florida on Sunday. And an 11-year-old girl who was shot 7 times survived. Judge said Riley, a former Marine who served as a sharpshooter in both Iraq and Afghanistan, seemed to have targeted his victims at random and appeared to be suffering from mental health issues. Judge said Riley's girlfriend told authorities that Riley had been slowly unraveling for weeks and repeatedly told her that he could communicate directly with God. They begged for their lives and I killed them anyway, Judge said Riley told them during an interrogation. Investigators said that preliminary evidence shows 40-year-old Justice Gleason just happened to be an unlucky stranger out mowing his lawn Saturday night while Riley drove by his home in Lakeland about 30 miles east of Tampa, saying God told him to stop because Gleason's daughter was going to commit suicide. A second unidentified person also confronted Riley, telling him that the story wasn't true and warned that they call police if he didn't leave. Judge said he referred to the person as a victim but declined to clarify which one. Authorities responded to the scene but never found Riley. About 9 hours later, around 4:30 a.m. Sunday, Riley returned to the home, laying out glow sticks to create a path leading to the house to draw officers into an ambush. Riley, who had no criminal history, also told authorities that he was on methamphetamine. His vehicle had also been stocked with supplies for a gunfight, authorities said, including bleeding control kits. While being treated at the hospital, Riley jumped up and tried to grab an officer's gun. They had to fight him again in the emergency room, judge said, adding that Riley was ultimately tied down and medicated. He is expected to recover and will be transferred to jail to face his charges. And in our next story, good question. Next story, do we need humans for that job? Automation booms after COVID asks for a roast beef sandwich at an Arby's drive-thru east of Los Angeles. So we're on. And not only that, and you may be talking to Tori. Tori is not a person. It is an artificially intelligent voice assistant that will take your order and send it to the line cooks. It doesn't call in sick, says Amir Siddiqui, whose family installed the AI voice at its Arby's franchise this year in Ontario, California. It doesn't get corona, and the reliability of it is great. The pandemic didn't just threaten America's health when it slammed the U.S. in 2020. It may have also posed a long-term threat to many of their jobs. Faced with worker shortages and higher labor costs, companies are starting to automate service sector jobs that economists once considered safe, assuming that the machines couldn't easily provide the human contact they believe customers would demand. But past experience suggests that such automation waves eventually create more jobs than they destroy it. But they also disproportionately wipe out less skilled jobs that many low-income workers depend on. Resulting growing pains for the U.S. economy could be severe. If not for the pandemic, Siddiqui probably wouldn't have been bothered investing in new technology that could alienate existing employees and some customers. But it's gone smoothly, he says. Basically, there's less people needed, but those folks are now working in the kitchen and other areas. Ideally, automation can redeploy workers into better and more interesting work, so long as they can get the appropriate technical training, says Johannes Moines, who is an economist at the University of Redlands. But although that's happening now, it's not moving quickly enough, he says. Worse, an entire class of service jobs created when manufacturing began to deploy more automation may now be at risk. The robots escaped the manufacturing sector and went into the much larger service sector, he says. I regarded contact jobs as safe. I was completely taken by surprise. Improvements in robot technology allow machines to do many tasks that previously required people tossing pizza dough. Transporting hospital linens, inspecting gauges, sorting goods, and the pandemic accelerated their adoption. Robots, after all, can't get sick or spread disease, nor do they request time off to handle unexpected childcare emergencies. But for one thing, many Americans are taking their time returning to work, some because they're still worried about the COVID-19 health risk and childcare problems, and others because of the generous federal unemployment benefits, which expire nationwide today, September 6th. In addition, large numbers of baby boom workers are retiring, and the labor market is going to be very, very tight for the foreseeable future. And in our next story, also similar to this, but this is going out in Dubai. No cashier, please. Futuristic supermarket opens in Mideast. The Middle East on Monday got its first completely automated cashier-less store as retail giant Carrefour rolled out its vision for the future of the industry in the cavernous Dubai Mall. So again, if we see these images coming up, you'll see that like Amazon's breakthrough unmanned grocery stores that opened in 2018, the Carrefour mini market looks like an ordinary convenience store brimming with sodas and snacks, tucked between sprawling storefronts of the city-state. But hidden among the familiar fare lies a sophisticated system that tracks shoppers' movements, eliminating the checkout line and allowing people to grab the products they'll walk out with. Only those with the store's smartphone apps may enter. Nearly 100 small surveillance cameras blanket the ceilings. Countless sensors line the shelves. 5 minutes after shoppers leave, their phones ping with receipts for whatever they put in their bags. The experimental shop called Carrefour Cities Plus is the latest addition to the burgeoning field of retail automation. Major retailers worldwide are combining machine learning software and artificial intelligence in a push to cut labor costs, do away with the irritation of long lines, and gather critical data about shopping behavior. With the pandemic forcing major retailers to reassess the future, many are increasingly investing in automation, a vision that threatens severe job losses across the industry. But Carrefour stressed that human workers, at least in the short term, will still be needed to support customers and assist the machines. So there's no future without humans, White said. Let's make that clear. All right. And we're going to move on to our next story. Our next story, Taliban. Taliban claims control of Panjshir, promise formation of government. The Taliban claimed victory on Monday over opposition forces in the Panjshir Valley, northeast of Kabul, declaring that it completed the Islamist group's takeover of Afghanistan and promising to announce a new government soon. Pictures on social media show Taliban members standing in front of the gate of the Panjshir provincial governor's compound after fighting over the weekend with the National Resistance Front of Afghanistan, led by Panjshiri leader Ahmad Musad. Panjshir, which was the last hideout of the escapee enemy, is captured. Taliban spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid told a news conference earlier he had said, "With this victory and latest efforts, our country has come out of the whirlpool and the war, and our people will have a happy life in peace, liberty, and freedom." The Taliban assured that the people of Panjshir, who are ethnically distinct from the Pashto-dominated Taliban and fought against the Islamists during their rule from 1996 to 2001, that there will be no more discriminatory act against them. They are our brothers and will work together for a joint purpose and welfare of the country, Mujahid said. Masood, who leads a force drawn from remnants of regular Afghan army and special forces units, as well as local militia fighters, said in a Twitter message that he was safe, but gave no details. Mujahid said he had been told that Musad and former Vice President Amrul Salih had escaped to neighboring Tajikistan. Ali Masim, head of foreign relations at NRFA said that the Taliban's claim of victory was false and opposition forces continue to fight. The NRF forces are present in all strategic positions across the valley to continue the fight, he said on his Facebook page. And Mujahid, the Taliban spokesman, denied that there were any disagreements within the movement about the formation of a new government and said it would be announced soon, but he did not set a date. He also said women were back at work in the health and education sectors, and other fields will be provided one by one once the system had been established for them. And we're going to move on to our last story. We're going to end this with this last one also. In Afghanistan, filmmakers at Venice fear loss of identity, culture. Afghan female filmmakers who fled the Taliban begged the world to not forget the Afghan people and to support its artists, warning Saturday that a country without culture would eventually lose its identity. The Venice Film Festival organization organized a panel discussion Saturday to give a platform to Saria Karimi, the first female president of the Afghan Film Organization, and documentary filmmaker Sarah Mani, who is presenting a project at the Venice Film Market Fair. Karimi choked up while telling reporters about her own escape, in which she had just hours to decide whether to stay or to leave, and all that had been lost after the Taliban completed their takeover of their country. She cited numerous films that were in pre- and post-production filmmaking, workshops that had been organized, insurance policies negotiated for equipment, and said that the Afghan directors were increasingly being welcomed at International Film Festival. Karimi herself had presented a film at the Venice Film Festival in 2019. It was our dream to change the narrative of Afghanistan because we were tired of those cliches about Afghanistan, she said. We wanted to produce films, movies, and to tell our stories from different angles, from different perspectives, to show the beauty of our country. But she said all of that has been lost, and that the country's burgeoning filmmaking community had either fled or gone into hiding, with its archives now under Taliban control. Imagine a country without artists, a country without filmmakers. How can they defend its identity? Karimi asks. Maybe we are not politically ambassadors, but we are ambassadors for our stories. We are ambassadors of our identity, and we are those people that represent our identity to the world through our films, through our music, through our creative works. But we are now homeless, unfortunately, she said. Many of the Afghanistan youngest and brightest left too, but said that thousands more promising filmmakers couldn't get out and are now erasing their social media presence for their own safety. Well, we do hope that everything works out over there. And my name is Kim Seabrook. You've been watching the Good Looking News on Millennium TV 24. We'll see you next time. Make sure to download the apps, please. Download the apps on your iPhone, your Androids, all your smart TVs, Roku TV. You can catch us on Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick. You make sure to watch us. Tune in. This is the Good Looking News. I'm Kim Seabrook. We'll catch us next time.